Hey everybody, this is John Klebnick. This is our What's New in ACT version 17 webinar, and I wanted to go over some of the things that have happened or been added to ACT in version 17 and some of the more recent versions. We'll take a moment and demo each of these to you, and then we'll take a few questions. So my name is John Klebnick. I'm an ACT certified consultant, certified trainer. We also are a hosting provider for ACT. So thank you for coming today, and we'll get started. So what I usually start with is just kind of ACT through the years. And if you look at this sheet, this shows us over the years, what's been added to ACT. So for example, going all the way back to 2009, I usually will highlight this stuff and just kind of what I consider to be, what's the key thing? What's the best part of this since that time frame? So 2009, basically related contacts was kind of a nice thing. They had integration with Outlook. 2010, we added in the reports view. We added the e-marketing piece. They added customized opportunities. 2011 was the start of Smart Tasks, ACT and Outlook, Calendar, and Contact Sync. Direct import from Excel was a big deal this time. 2011 they came out with, or 2012 first saw the ACT Premium Mobile, which we'll talk about a little bit more. Universal Search was a big deal. Gmail integration. 2013 they added opportunities to Premium Mobile. They added offline Smart Tasks. They added the date field triggers to Smart Tasks. And then last year, version 16, things that were new were calculated fields, the history view, big deal. We like that. More on ACT Premium Mobile. So those are what I would consider the highlights of the years. And then going back to last year, here's some of the things we added. Streamlined company management. Now, I didn't talk much about this, but what this meant in the past, if we added a contact to a database, if the contact also belonged to a company, I had to either do it in 2 steps, or I had to remember to go to the company view first and create contact from company. And so this past year, they added the option under Tools and Preferences to create the company or link the contact to the company automatically. And this also applies to imports. So that was kind of a neat thing. Calculated fields, we're able to calculate fields in version 16 based upon dates or numbers. The history view I'll show you gave us a way to look at the history of, for example, what's going on, what happened for this week, this month, this year. It's really simpler than running a report. The Premium Mobile, I'll wait and show you that, but basically it's a simplified version of ACT for Web that works on handhelds and tablets, and they added features that make it better to work in the field with that. Alrighty, so skipping forward, again, this is me, John Klebnick. This is our website, cloudtopoffice.com. And let's talk about what's new in version 17. So over the years with ACT, they have kind of abandoned the annual naming convention where we had ACT 2005 and 2006 and 2007 and on and on and on. And beginning last year with what would have been ACT 2014, we now have ACT version 16 and now this year version 17. Now, there's a Pro and there's a Premium. I wanted to talk briefly about the differences and kind of when you should choose one or the other. So Pro is for small groups, for individuals. It is basically a good tool if you are all in the same room working on the same data. You don't have the need to integrate security with the database. You don't have a need to travel or access the database remotely. You don't really need to sync. Those are all options with ACT for Web. And then I'm sorry, those are all options with Act Pro. Act Premium is typically designed for work groups, and we go anywhere from 3 users up to 100 or so with Act Premium. It has a mobile client. It has the mobile client for handhelds and tablets, assuming that's put on the right server, either it's hosted or put on your server. And the Act Pro, we generally say up to usually 2 or 3 users. You can go as high as 9, but you cannot go any higher than that. So that's your Pro. All right, so the Premium versus the Pro, I've talked about the differences there. In terms of what's new in version 17, they've really broken this into 4 categories. The e-marketing, and so what they've done this year is they have, several versions ago they had what was the Act or the SwiftPage e-marketing, and they've released a new product and rebranded it as Act e-marketing, and they've included that product in the database now. And actually, if you want to, you can choose either to use Act e-marketing or SwiftPage e-marketing. It's up to you. So the SwiftPage one is being retired, and so although you can still use it, they're not going to do anything new to it. And the Act e-marketing, you'll see more and more features added to this as it becomes the flagship product. Now, the really cool thing, I think, is that as Act was purchased by SwiftPage almost a year and a half ago now, about a year and a half ago. It was previously owned by Sage, which is a big accounting company, and so SwiftPage, as an email marketing company, took over the product or purchased the product, and so now we're seeing some really good synergy between the CRM or contact management piece and the e-marketing piece, and really I believe nobody has that level of synergy between their 2 products. Sage certainly didn't, as focused mainly on accounting packages. It seemed like we were the stepchild at times, and it was really kind of refreshing to see a company with a similar vision purchase the product. Okay, so a lot in terms of Act e-marketing. I'll show you that. Automation and productivity enhancements, we'll talk about some of that, particularly in the area of smart tasks, and they've added some extra triggers there. They've included the way to integrate smart tasks with e-marketing, included ways to set limited access to contacts in the premium version from smart tasks. A few other things there. Streamlined configuration and access options. You'll see some really great things here. For example, if you've got read-only users, we've got really great pricing for those folks now that it's basically free. And so if you've got people that just need to use the database on occasion, you can do that. And then finally, you'll see some fresh branding and new icons within the product. So let's get going on these 4 areas. So the first one, the feature area number 1, this is the enhanced e-marketing, and there's about 6 different ways that this has been improved. And so, for example, there's now lead capture. So this basically gives me a way to make a web form from inside of Act and use it and import the data in. And I'll talk to you about this. I'll do a little demo of this for you in a second. The team edition or of the email marketing piece, team accounts allow me to send an email as someone else. So, for example, if I've got 10 salespeople on my team, I can have a marketing person that sends email on behalf of other people, and so you can have my salespeople out in the field doing their selling, and then the marketing folks can send the emails on behalf of them and actually help you with a consistent look for your company. E-marketing smart tasks. Now, the coolest thing about this, so let's say I send an email out, and on this is the new Act e-marketing view on this little PowerPoint slide. So that we've got now an e-marketing view, and on the left-hand side you can see our campaigns that we might have sent out, and on the right-hand side we can see the scores and basically the relative sales temperatures of these folks. And so the more flags or the more fires you have there, and the higher the score, the better they interacted with your email. So let's say, for example, you send somebody an email and they open it 3 times and they click the link twice and they forward it to somebody once. Each of those actions is going to get a score, and the higher the score, the higher they show up, and basically the higher the score, the more likely it is they're interested in what you have to offer. So from that I can take that and I can use smart tasks to, let's say if the score is between 60 and 80 or 60 and 100, we mark it as cold or moderate, and we set the temperature inside of ACT Associate accordingly. Let's say on the other hand the score was 100 or higher, we can call that one hot, and then in that case we might want to set a field inside of ACT equals to hot, or create a follow-up task for a sales rep equals to hot if the temperature was hot. So that's a way that e-marketing is integrated with the smart tasks. The account dashboard, again, this is part of it. You can actually see how many emails you have and what level you're on and that kind of stuff. And then from here we're able to track and send and create our email campaigns, and here on the right hand side we see our call list of basically who is hot on the list based upon their score. All right, let me flip over to my database for just a second, and I want to show you first the web capture piece. Hold on while I flip my screen over. All right, so if I go to groups, and I can then search for a group called, I think it was form. Let's see what I called it. There it is, new leads. Okay, so in my group view now I have a lead capture tab, and inside of here I can actually go and choose, I thought that was the right one. Well, let's just make one real quick. We can hit create web form. So here on the right hand side we can see what it looks like. Here's the preview of what it looks like, and if you want extended, there's the place for some extra information, and then we click OK. And then we'll generate the code. So now we've made the form. You can see it on the right-hand side. If I choose View HTML, I can either get a link, which is this page here. So for example, if I just take that link and paste it into a browser, there's my web form. Now I also could take this code inside of here and paste that into my website so it looks a little bit better than this, but there you go. So now if I want to, I can go and then click this button right there, which is OK, and it says, okay, we want you to confirm your email. So I'll go to my Gmail account real quick and confirm the email. And then basically you should see it flow in pretty quick here. So as soon as to make this work, basically I go and I click on the Get Leads option. And it may take a second to populate through, but anybody that's filled out your form is going to show up there. You hit Get Leads, and they basically show up in the database. There we go. First I have to close that. So now we hit Get Leads. It goes up, looks and see if there's any leads, and brings them in. And there's a little bit of a delay, so we'll wait to see what happens with that. So anyway, that's one way, so that now you can take these codes, put it right into your website, integrate that, and there you go. The next thing I wanted to show you is basically the e-marketing piece, and I'll show you basically in our database, these are some campaigns that we sent out. And so you can see on the left-hand side the number of people that have read the email, the number of people that you know, how they've reacted. Then on the right-hand side, you'll be able to see kind of their scores. So these are some we sent out recently. But you can kind of see people's scores as you do that. So I won't stay too long on that. All right, so the next piece, e-marketing smart tasks. Let me show you what that does. What I can do now is I can go to my smart task, which is under the schedule menu, and here's manage smart tasks. And here's one I called Hot Roadshow. So this basically says, here's the name of the task, here's the condition. So the condition is if the call list with this name has a score greater than 100, that's the condition for it to fire. So if that condition is not true, then you have to go in and, you know, it basically won't fire. But let's say that you know, so here's the marketing campaign that we want to run the smart task again. So we're going to run it every day at 4:50 p.m. On weekdays. Click OK. And the next thing is, okay, so if it fires, meaning if the condition is true, what are we going to do to it? So that's my activity. So I go to edit, and you'll see here I added this activity, and the activity is that for the people that were part of this, you know, where the condition was true, we're going to create a phone call called Call Hot Marketing Prospect. Okay? We'll do it we'll make it timeless. And if we wanted to do one more thing, we could basically go in and update a field. Maybe I have a field called hot. I guess it doesn't work with the yes, no field, so I'll skip that. But you know, you basically could say, okay, update this field with this value, and it would do that. All right, so that's creating that smart task. Then to go run it, I'll go back to schedule, and I'll choose run smart task, and you gotta find it and then run it. Well, as soon as you find it, then basically you go and run it. And if there's anything that met that criteria, it would create the activity for you. So that's how that piece works. Let me go on to the next part. Okay, so the team features, the send as. So basically, when I go to do a send of an email, let me show you how that works. To send an email, you basically would go to the e-marketing button. Remember I told you that if you used the old Swift page, you could still use that. You basically, under the Tools menu and Manage Add-ins, you can turn on this one right here, which is the Act SPE 2005, and then that will make it show up under your right menu, and here's, it'd be under here. But the new one, here's e-marketing, and then now you can go and here's send an e-marketing campaign, here's get leads from web forms. And so that's basically going to go in and suck all the leads that came in from all your web forms at once. E-marketing, here's send a campaign. So up comes a dialog box, and it's kind of like the ones you might be used to if you use Swift page e-marketing in the past. You can choose a group, a lookup, a contact. You can choose, an email. You choose to send it now, send it later. If you want to, you can hit the edit button, and this takes me to my template editor. And so the templates that I sent out using after importing them. So you can, here's just some training, basically email stock templates. Here's one, and so if I want to move something around, I can do that. If you want to change your links around or change your company around, you can do that there. If you want to change the text inside of your email, you can do that. So right off the bat, there's a bunch of them that you can just go and do. You can also import them. So if you want to import, we'll go back to my templates button. And then my imported templates. And there is an option here to import, which is this button right there. You click that and basically choose your template. Maybe you browse to your template. You hit next. Then after that, you have to decide what to do with your pictures. So you can say, here's my Roadshow GIF file. There's my file. Here's my Act box cover. Right there. And here's my logo. Click here. And so now I've imported in my text in my template, and I've also adjusted the images. So there you see what it looks like, how it's going to go out. When you're done, you hit save, and you'll be able to see it. So that's one that we imported, and so that gives me a chance either to do one for in Dreamweaver or Expression Web, or purchase a template. Because if you want, there's some really good templates here. So let me go back and just show you. If we go back to templates, stock templates, there's a bunch of them here. So you wanted to take one of these, you can take it and modify it any way you want. And once it's there, you can open it up and change the company. You can redo the files, redo the pictures. If you wanted to change a picture, you could do that. Upload something different, resize something, all of that's possible. And once it's done, you basically can go in and send that straight from ACT. So it would show up right here under your template list. So here's, I'm going to send one. I'm sending from Roadshow, current list. Click OK. It's going to go through the process of uploading it and sending it, and it'll show up in my inbox in just a second. So that's that. If you're going to send to somebody else, I was going to show you this. You have the option to do that from here. Send from, if you've got the team edition, you can see other people there, and you can manage that in any way you want and put other people on it. Okay. Okay. The rest of this, basically you've got scores. If you click on one, you can go right to it. And so this is just a lot of what's in the new e-marketing. I'm going to look for new features on here because they're coming and it's going to be kind of cool. All right, so with this, you're going to get basic e-marketing included. So you're going to get 500 contacts a month that you can send emails to. It's not going to give you the call list or the, you can't do more than that. But, for 500 emails a month, it's included in the price of your software. You don't have to pay for anything extra. Now, if you go and get Business Care, and Business Care is the software maintenance, and there's bronze and silver and gold. Bronze is software only. Silver is tech support, and then gold is a senior tech support person. And it's unlimited support, so if you got silver or gold, you need to talk to somebody. You can call ACT, not us. You can call ACT and get some help, and they'll do that. So with Business Care, when you buy it, you're going to get $15 a month off of the price of your e-marketing just because you bought Business Care. And so right off the bat, you're saving some money. In fact, it almost makes it where the Business Care is basically free. So Pro and Premium, or the Pro and Team Edition, $60 a month, you get the ability to send to somebody else. So that's the e-marketing pricing. Okay, so the next one is automation and productivity enhancements. There's 5 of these. We'll talk about these. The contact timeline, Outlook sync options. Basically, we can sync going one way now. We've talked a little bit about the smart task automation. We'll talk about how the ability to integrate documents with Dropbox, Google Docs, iCloud, SharePoint, OneNote, Evernote, all of those too. And then finally, the ability to use the ACT Premium Mobile to take pictures on your smartphone. So let me kind of demo some of these things for you. Okay, so here's so first of all the timeline. Let me go back to the contact view here. So what the timeline gives me is down here at the bottom on the task list. I'm sorry, the contact view, and you can click on this, and every contact will have a timeline view. So you can use these tabs at the bottom and expand or collapse these items on a timeline. You can take this and slide it over to the left, to the right. What this is going to give me is a view into the histories of my activities with, or my interactions with contacts. So I can choose at the top here, a from and a to, so I can change my date ranges. You can also go to the bottom and use these little sliders. So when you do it that way, you can either change the range of the dates or scroll back and forth of the dates. And that's kind of cool. That's new since the beta version. If you want to change the types of activities, instead of looking at all of them, maybe you just want to look at opportunity histories. You can see those that way then. If I want to look at just history activities or all open opportunities. So there you see them there. All right, so once I have an activity, I can actually go and I can hold a mouse over it and see a little bit more detail, or I can double click and open it up. I can make changes to it. I can erase it from there if I want to. But that's a really good, on a contact by contact basis to see what's going on. Now, the other thing I told you earlier was the history view. So the history view was new last year, but basically I can go here and I can say, okay, well, let's look at, let's say the current month or last month or current quarter or something like that. So based on whatever your filters are, you can look at that there. Let me just set it back to all dates. So now the cool thing about this, so I can go and customize my columns, left click on options, customize columns. You can add any of these fields here that you want to, so I can add them all in. I can export to Excel, so here's my export to Excel button. That takes my history list of all history, sends it to Excel. What's cool about this is I can go in and do my I can do reports from Excel. Sorry, I had a brain freeze there. Let me close that real quick. So inside Excel, I can go and say I want to go to Data and Filter, and I say just show me the to-do activities that have been completed. So I go here, say to-do done. Boom, there they are. Maybe just the to-do done that have been completed for a particular person. Okay, there's to-do dones where the record manager is Chris. And there you have them. You can also insert pivot table, and you can say, well, hey, I want to see by record manager the results and give me the totals. So there you can see that there's total histories by record manager. So if you're trying to demonstrate what you've been doing or who's been doing what, that's really a powerful thing, and it's just straight from Excel without having to run any reports or anything. Next feature that was added, so that's the history view from last year, the timeline view. Something else that they've added, we can go to Tools and Preferences, and under Outlook Email Sync, if you go down to Outlook Sync down at the bottom, one of the things that's new here is this right here, the ability to go one-way sync between ACT and Outlook. So we've had two-way sync for about 3 different versions, but for a few different reasons, people were asking for a one-way sync. One of the reasons is sometimes you don't want your business stuff and your personal stuff mixed up. Number 2, it's a less of a chance of getting duplicates if you just go one way. And so if you're just trying to get your data out to your phone, it's a nice option to have. So there's that piece there. Another thing that's been added to this, let me flip over to my PowerPoint. Oh, okay, so that's Outlook Sync, Dropbox, Google Docs, iCloud, SharePoint. So what we can do now on the attachments, on the Documents tab, okay, so let me go back to that, go to a particular contact, and here's on the Documents tab. So we've always had I'll just copy something here. We've always had the ability to attach a file. So I could go to File, and I can go and browse, and maybe I want to say, hey, let's make a resume. So a new Word document, call it resume, and we attach that and bring it into the database. So there's my resume attachment. Or I can go in and say, let's make a shortcut to a file called proposal, and let's say that's an Excel spreadsheet. So the first one is a file where the file is actually brought into the database itself, and the second one is a link back to my machine. So, you know, we've had both of those, and those are nice. Now what we can do is we can go and add a link. So we had a block party in our neighborhood, and I have a Google Doc for that. So I'm just going to paste the link from the Google Doc in, and now click on that, and it'll open this Google Doc that I created. So that's going to work for SharePoint, OneNote, OneDrive, Evernote, Dropbox, Box.net, all of your file share type services. You can link to a file, and it just has a hyperlink to that web address, which is kind of cool. Okay, so I need to show you the Act Premium Mobile to show you the next piece. So let me flip to another virtual machine. Just a second. Actually, I do it from this one. Okay, so Act Premium Mobile. Let me talk to you about that because it's important. That we make a distinction. Act Premium Mobile is Act for Web, but it's optimized for a tablet or a phone. So first, I'm going to show you logging in. This is Act for Web. It'll take just a second to log in here, and you know, so Act for Web is the software that comes with the premium edition. Okay, Act for Web does require that you be on a web server. So the cool thing, I've been using that desktop version. I go to the Documents tab here. Remember, here's my block party I just did. I can click on that link from Act for Web and still see the block party Google Doc. I can still go and open the file called resume that I brought into the database. So, you know, those are things I can do with Act for Web. I can also go and search Act for Web. So if I have somebody named Melissa, I can go and click search. There's Melissa Weather. Click on her name. There she is there. I can do stuff to her record. I can put in notes. Works part-time. Click OK. Now when I go back to the desktop edition version and I go to Melissa, there's Melissa Weather, and I go to notes. There's works part-time. So I can enter data from the desktop version or the web version, and it's all real-time. Now what's cool about that is, let's say I've got somebody that's traveling or in a remote office or working from home or any of those things. As soon as you put something in the desktop version, they see it in the web version. As soon as you put it in the web version, they see it in the desktop version. There's no syncing. There's no chance of duplicating. It's instant. Now the Premium Mobile, basically what I've got to do here is just go and put a /m after it, and you'll see what you would see if you were on a browser, on a phone or a tablet. So now, pretend I'm on a phone. This is the view that I get. And so now if I want to go look for Melissa, type in Melissa. There's Melissa Weather. I can go and look at her notes. And here's the one that says she works part-time. I can go in and put a new note. Call it note from my phone. Save it. Again, instant. So as soon as you go here, there's note from my phone. I can go and insert here and call it note from my desktop. That's not good. That means my virtual machine just crashed. So basically, you'd be able to see that there too. So the cool thing about that, let me just pretend that's going to crash and die on me because I'm not going to be able to recover from that one. But I have backups and backups. But the really cool thing about that is that wherever you are, you can get to your stuff. Now, so let me go and show you on a different one here. I've got to go to one of my other databases. So we'll go to yeah, that's fine. So this is one of our other Act for Web. So I'll just log in real quick since my virtual machine crashed. Okay, so here's the view I was showing you. And then remember, you just put the /m at the end of it. It gives me the mobile view. Okay. So what I was going to show you with this, when we're in the mobile view, is when you go into a contact record, like if I go find Melissa again, now in this case, when I hit attach photo on a phone or an iPad or a tablet or something, it's actually going to go in and access the camera. You can take a picture and attach it. So you can attach something, bring it into your database, and I can go in the field like I'm looking at properties, take a picture of a property, attach it, and it goes right in, and then I can see it. So let me kind of get back to that. So that's kind of cool, but it's Act for Web only. So you've got to have a web server or you've got to have it hosted. It's not part of the Pro. It's not something you're going to want to run on a desktop version. The Smart Task Automation, basically what's kind of cool about that is we can make a smart task now that, let's say if somebody's in the Texas territory, I can make a smart task now that's going to assign limited access so that only the Texas reps can see that that contact. So that's there. All right, so streamlined access and configuration pieces. The biggest one here, there's a few big ones really. Number one, I can create read-only licenses. So if I have a company of 20 people and I've got 10 that do sales and need all of ACT, I've got another 10 that just need to look up an occasional phone number. Read-only users now are free. You don't have to pay for them. If you're having it hosted, you pay for the hosting, but you don't pay for the licenses. So up to 10 extra named users for Pro, unlimited for Premium, no charge. Next thing, easily create, distribute Act for Web remote databases. So if you're using Act for Web, you can create a remote database. Skipping down a couple, you can also import contacts from Act for Web. That's new. The next one that's kind of neat is hide inactive users from drop-downs. And so you can go to Tools and Manage Users. And there's an option now here to hide inactive users. So I won't see these people that maybe used to work for me and don't anymore. So select users, you just have the active people instead of all of them. That's kind of nice. Global preference management, basically what that means is that if you've got a group or a large company, the more you can centrally administer, the better you're going to be. And so they've increased the number of things that you can centrally administer as an IT administrator. Okay, new, fresh new look. You've probably seen some of this. I really won't spend much time on this, but basically there's now an improved marketplace, e-marketing tabs. There's improved or different branding on it, new icons, new look, and so that's kind of cool to see. I sent you on your webinar, this is only good through tomorrow. So after that, it's over. Prices go back to regular. But if you buy the ACT software at the prices that are on the email that I sent you, then you go grab it real quick here. If you buy the software at those prices, then you know you get 3 training sessions. You get the software at a pretty good price, and it's just kind of our end of the year type of a thing. I'm going to skip that because it's a little slow for me. There it goes. So here's the email I just sent out. Let me browse it so you can see it. So this one here. So let me tell you some things that are important. You've already signed up for the webinar. If you qualify, if you have an older version of ACT, you get upgrade pricing. You can click on this button and fill out the number of units that you need and buy it right online, or you can go on to scroll down. If you want to order Pro or Premium, if you've got a more recent version, you can buy those there. And then again, if you purchase, you get the training for free. If you want to buy the training and don't want to purchase ACT, you can do it for $100 for 3 sessions, which is a pretty good deal. Those are the dates. We're talking about ACT in an hour. We're talking about finding your stuff in ACT, and then marketing in ACT. We'll go into depth and do about an hour on each session. So I've taken longer than I wanted to, but thanks for your patience today. If there's any questions, you can go ahead and type them into the chat window or the question box. And then just to kind of finish up, there's the training that we're going to do in January if you buy the software, or $100 for all 3 sessions. So new prices from ACT. The thing that's important if you're buying software is that you need to be under maintenance, either silver or gold, to get any physical person support, or you can pay for support, which is $40 per user for 1 month of installation support. The silver or the gold is really a better deal if you're looking for that. You know, or you save the money and don't take the support. So it's up to you. We host ACT. So one of the things that we do is we can host over, host ACT over Citrix. And so we host the desktop versions of ACT and QuickBooks and Microsoft Office and ACT add-ons like QuoteWorks. And if you're interested in that, I can show it to you. And here's some of the pricing. This is on that sheet that I gave you. Remember, that is going to expire tomorrow, and I don't have a way to extend it. So last chance on that. If you want it hosted, these are some of the prices. ACT for Web is $35 per month. Virtual Desktop is about $70 a month. If you want to sync ACT and have us host it, it's about $45 a month. And you get ACT Mobile. You've got to buy the software, but that's included with all of these. All right, that is me. I'm going to stop